All I do is party. Ha, 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 ha.
All I do is party. Ha, 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 ha.
So bounce low,
Bounce low,
bounce high.
bounce high.
All I do is party. Ha, ha.
21 Jump Street is a 2012 comedy film. It was directed by these two guys, Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. Now, the plot is we meet Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum. They have just become cops, and they get assigned to go undercover at this high school to try to find out who's the supplier of this big-time new drug that's killing kids left and right. And it sounds easy enough, right? But with these two, not so much. Because they seem to be more interested in almost reliving high school glory days. What I think of 21 Jump Street is I really, really like this movie. First of all, I'm sure most people are aware of the 21 Jump Street. That was a TV show back in the 80s that starred Johnny Depp. It was like the first thing he ever did. So not only is it interesting that they're rebooting this, because I remember thinking, wow, are they really going there and rebooting yet another thing from the 80s? However, when they kind of point that out in the movie and they talk about how these big time executives, they don't have any ideas anymore, that they just go to the 80s and redo everything and act like we're not supposed to realize that that's what they're doing. The fact that this movie called them out on it, it automatically gets a pass. But let's talk about Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum. Because here's a pairing that you'd never think would work for a comedy. Especially Channing Tatum. Now look, I have started liking Channing Tatum ever since Dear John, which was a couple years before this. So this wasn't the movie that made me start liking him. However, this was the movie that made me go, wow. Channing Tatum is a lot more versatile than I ever would have given him credit for. This guy is hilarious. And I love how, like, in the high school flashback scene of them actually in high school, how he's just a dick. He's the bully, the jock, just what you would expect. But now, when they're going back to high school, you think he's just going to redo that all over again and be the popular kid. He's even trying to tell Jonah Hill, this is how you have to act. And when they get to the school, he's about to tell them that these are the groups of high school kids. Here are the goth kids. And then they look over and they can't tell who is who. And high school gets more confusing for Channing Tatum. And, like, it's cool to like comic books. It's cool to not like sports. Like, the whole landscape of high school has completely changed. I also like that Channing Tatum, they play up the fact that he's a good-looking guy who's dumb. And he just doesn't know anything. And, I mean, come on. The fact that he's willing to make fun of himself, or at least make fun of that stereotype of himself, that automatically earns some points for the guy. It was so funny in this movie. Dare I say the funniest thing about the film, but definitely funnier than Jonah Hill, which I still like Jonah Hill, but Channing Tatum kind of blew me away here. He has so much energy to it. When you see him joking around or having fun with the nerds at the school, just all of that I really enjoyed. Now Jonah Hill, I do find his whole thing interesting because, again, he was the nerd in actual high school. So here, he gets a second chance to be cool. And you see that he starts to get in too deep with this. There's even one point where he starts to actually fill out college applications because he's like, maybe I could see this through for a few more years. Maybe I can go on and be a doctor. Maybe I could actually, I don't know. So funny. Also, I should probably mention Ice Cube, who, speaking of stereotypes, he's the typical angry black man. And he sort of points this out. And he says, look, I'm just angry. Fuck it. Hilarious. I think one of the funniest ongoing running gags was the false explosions. Because there's so many times where they're either on a chase or they're doing something. And the camera shows flammable gas. And the two of them go, oh shit, watch out! And nothing happens. And this happens at least 2 or 3 times. And it's hilarious because it's like you stop and think, yeah, in all of these action movies, all the camera has to do is show the words flammable or gas, and then the biggest explosion you ever saw happens. And there's no real explanation, because in real life that probably wouldn't happen. We're here, again, I love the fact that this movie is a lot smarter than it probably should have been, and it just points out certain stuff like that. Also, we have the drug that they're trying to figure out who's supplying and what it is. When they first see, like, this kid who posted a video on YouTube of what this drug is, how there's 4 different stages of taking this drug, how it goes from the giggles to just tearing shit up. Even the last one is called Yeah Motherfucker. It's hilarious. And then there's a point where Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill have to take the drug at school, and I still die laughing every time I see just them going crazy and talking to their coach and just his head morphing into all these shapes. The 2 of them sell a lot of these scenes really well. Some actors that we have also in this movie: Dave Franco, James Franco's little brother. Every time I see him and that smile, I go, yeah, you're totally James Franco's brother. I actually like him in here. He has a lot of funny moments himself. And Brie Larson plays Franco's sort of girlfriend, but also she's open to date whoever she wants. And so that's where Jonah Hill starts to like her. And the first time I saw this, I thought it was weird. And even still, it's like Jonah Hill, his character is supposed to be mid-20s. He's going back in high school. Brie Larson, her character has to be 17. If she's 18, then she just turned 18. And if she's 17, though, it's weird that Jonah Hill likes her so much and he's pursuing her so much, and that we're not supposed to really question the fact that he's actually falling for a high school girl. Maybe I'm thinking too much about it. Maybe I'm the only one that thought about that. I just thought that was a little creepy. The last thing that I want to mention could be a spoiler, but I think after a couple of years it's okay to talk about this. Johnny Depp's cameo, where he comes in at the end and he was undercover in this biker gang, like, that is the big holy shit, that's awesome point of the movie. The fact that not only were they able to get him to do a cameo like that, but just the extra nod to the original 21 Jump Street. That's what reboots, remakes, whatever you want to call it, they don't do that enough. And that's, again, where this movie gets a lot of extra props for. So 21 Jump Street, here you have a film that I was fully expecting to hate the very first time I saw it, just because I thought it was yet another one of these remakes or something unoriginal and it would be force-fed. But wow, I was blown away by this comedy. It made me laugh so many times. Still rewatching today, it still made me laugh at all the times it was supposed to. I really enjoyed Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill in this film. So, yeah, let me know in the comments below if you saw 21 Jump Street and what did you think of it. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Later!